Hello, I'm Vijay Prashad, Chief Editor of Leftward Books. Very happy to be with you today. The assembly elections in India this year coincide with the 150th anniversary of the Paris Commune. In 1871, on the 18th of March, the workers of Paris took control of their own city, built an extremely efficient government, a government which had representatives from the working class, from the artisanal sector. They tried to build a new kind of society. They opened the door to utopia. This experiment lasted 72 days. On the 28th of May 1871, the Commune was crushed. The forces of reaction entered Paris, massacred thousands of people, and destroyed the Paris Commune. 2 days later, Karl Marx delivered an address to the International Working Men's Association, an address which was later published as the text Civil War in France. Now, what's important is, as I said, that this assembly election is taking place somewhere between the 18th of March and the 28th of May on the 150th anniversary of the Paris Commune. That commune, that experience of the commune, shouldn't merely be seen for the fact that it inaugurated itself on the 18th of March. It shouldn't be seen merely in the fact that it was defeated on the 28th of May. We have to see what happened in those 72 days. Because in those 72 days, ordinary citizens of Paris, workers who came from the brass trade, workers who came from the joiner trade, engravers and so on, took control of departments. They took control of the mint, they took control of the telegraphs, they took control of the library, they took control of food delivery and so on. And by all accounts, even the accounts of their enemies, they were extremely efficient in the delivery of goods to the people, because they didn't understand themselves as being people who, out of a sense of noblesse oblige or a sense of superiority, try to help the people. No, they saw themselves as of the people, rooted in the community, and therefore they saw government as a act of community enhancement, of community development. Government was not to dominate society. It was to be of society, to try its best to solve society's problems. That's how we remember the Paris Commune from 150 years ago. That's also a good way to start understanding the Left Democratic Front government in Kerala, the LDF. It's a very good way to start thinking about the Left Democratic Front government. Why? Because in this particular period, of course, previously 2006, 2011, in the 1990s, all the way back to 1957, when EMS Namboodiripad was inaugurated as the first Chief Minister of Kerala, all the way back to then. But even in this last term, under the leadership of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, even in this last term, what the left government has demonstrated is a great sense that it is rooted in its people. It is rooted in the people of Kerala. It doesn't stand above and outside the people of Kerala. We saw this in a cascading series of crises. The crisis of the floods of 2018-2019, the Nipah virus, and then of course the coronavirus, the scourge of the coronavirus. The government of Kerala, led by Pinarayi Vijayan, with KK Shalja as the health minister, was so acutely aware not only of the need to be vigilant, efficient and so on to tackle both the Nipah virus and the coronavirus, but also extraordinarily seized of the fact that people are going to suffer during lockdowns, they're going to suffer as we struggle against the virus. And therefore, it is so important for a government, so very important for a government rooted in society. It's so important for a government to be there to solve the immediate daily problems of people, including, of course, the problem of unemployment and hunger. Hunger. Not one person must go hungry during a pandemic. That was a pledge made by Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, the Health Minister K.K. Shailaja, of course, the Finance Minister T.M. Thomas Isaac. People fought to make sure that everybody in the state of Kerala was able to access food during the pandemic. It's not just the government rooted in the people, therefore, mass organizations of the left, Democratic Youth Federation of India, Student Federation of India, Center of Indian Trade Unions, and a range of other institutions of the people, including religious institutions, community institutions, and so on, working alongside the government, ensured that hunger was kept at bay. This is at a time, friends, when the World Food Organization, when the Food and Agriculture Organization, World Food Program, both of them have said that up to perhaps half the world's population, near 3 billion people, are struggling with hunger. At that moment, government rooted in the people, rooted in society, very much like the 72-day government of the Paris Commune, ensured that hunger must be kept at bay. At the same time, an efficient government, a scientifically minded government, a rational government must tackle a virus, the pandemic. Again, this was there with Nipah, it is there now with the coronavirus. But at the same time, despite these cascading series of crises, annual floods, the virus and another virus and so on, despite all this, this government, because of that efficiency and the commitment to the people, I mean, this idea of the commitment to the people is a core idea of a socialist government, must be rooted in the people, committed to the people, able to mobilize people to solve problems. Out of the 600 promises made by this government when it came into office 5 years ago, it has met 580 of those promises. That's pretty extraordinary. That's pretty extraordinary for any government anywhere in the world. A government not only committed to the people but rooted in the people, because you don't solve problems, complicated problems in the 21st century merely by government action, by government from above. You must galvanize people, you must galvanize technical support from society, you must galvanize and bring people into the process of solving problems. Problems cannot be solved only from the government from above. You have to have popular support, you have to have popular action, you have to have public action involved in essentially tackling the common problems that the world faces today. So this is a really key issue to put before the people. When we look at the Paris Commune, we see people coming together on the streets trying to solve their immediate problems. It's exactly the same kind of thing that we have seen in this last Left Democratic Front government in Kerala. Now, one of the things that most struck me about the manifesto entering this election has been the question of domestic labor. At our institute, Tricontinental Institute for Social Research, we did an excellent study last year called Corona Shock and Patriarchy. One of the findings, the key finding of that text, is as a consequence of austerity politics, as a consequence of the neoliberal cuts, in a way the desiccation, the destruction of the capacity of a state to assist people in time of need. As a consequence of that, anytime there's a crisis, any kind of crisis, the burden of the social crisis falls on women in our society. The burden of the social crisis falls on women. So that, for instance, when there is the lockdown and children are forced to be at home, got to face the fact that we have an electricity divide in many parts of the world. Not necessarily in Kerala, because you have almost 100%, in fact, 100% electrification. You also have a digital divide and so on. Mothers and sisters and aunts were forced to help with childcare, increased hours of childcare, taking school care, in fact, becoming the school teachers in every single home and so on. This burden, this patriarchal burden on women has been very significant indeed in this period. What we've seen from the government in Kerala is an acute awareness of the importance of challenging patriarchy. During this period of the Left Democratic Front government, I well remember when the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan openly talked about the fact that young girls were not going to school on a regular basis because the young girls were afraid of I well remember during this period that the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan had made a public comment about the fact that young girls were not going to school on a regular basis, partly because they were somewhat afraid of the idea that they had menstruation, that they didn't have the technology to tackle their own menses, their menstruation. And at that point, the government decided that in schools they should have the easy delivery of sanitary pads and other technologies to help girls manage their menstruation and so on. What was so interesting about that wasn't the solution, the fact that they put these technologies in place in schools where you could easily get sanitary materials and in many cases for free. Not only that, but the fact that the Chief Minister, the highest body of the state government, made this an important topic to speak upon, to talk about, to raise the awareness around, that there's no stigma. No stigma should be attached to the fact that menstruation takes place. It's a perfectly normal practice. This is interesting. This shows the commitment of this government to challenging patriarchal norms, patriarchal ideas. You can't advance a socialist project, you can't advance a human project if you're disregarding and disrespecting 50% of the human population, and that is women and girls and so on. You just can't be a human being if you subscribe to patriarchy. To see this government in the last period talk openly about issues of patriarchy like this, about menstruation, and then of course to talk openly about transgender rights and the subway in Kochi having spaces for transgender population to be conductors and so on. All of this demonstrated a serious commitment to pushing against patriarchy. But I was very struck in this current manifesto. Very struck to see a new kind of commitment. And I just want to read to you what the manifesto says. It talks about a pension for housewives. There's a recognition that in many families, for a range of reasons, women decide, look, I'm not going to go and seek employment outside. I'm going to take care of my children. I'm going to take care of my family and so on. This level of care work is fundamental for a society. It's not some meaningless task. It's fundamental for a society, raising the next generation and so on. There's a great deal of labor that goes into this care labor. It's what an economist called societies don't function merely by the invisible hand, they function by the invisible heart. Out of great love, people raise their children and so on. But there's an economic cost to be paid by the people who are raising children. They are not earning income themselves. They don't have control over cash and so on necessarily. They don't necessarily have control. They're not earning from this. There are no wages for housewives. But there's also no pension. And what the LDF, Left Democratic Front manifesto says is so interesting. It says the value of domestic labor will be recognized. It's important. We generally understand domestic labor, or the work of raising children, of taking care of a household, what is also called social reproduction. We generally see this as unrecognized work. It's not invisible. It's not invisible work. It's very visible. You walk into any house and you'll see somebody who raises the children. You'll see somebody who cleans the dishes, who cooks the food, who plans the meals and so on. It's not invisible labor as such. It's unrecognized labor. It's unrecognized in two different senses. It's unrecognized because not sufficient value is placed on it, by which I mean cultural, social value. Not enough respect given to people who raise children. And secondly, there is no economic recognition. There's no wages paid for it directly. And therefore, the Left Democratic Front manifesto says the value of domestic labor will be recognized and pension will be instituted for housewives. Pension will be instituted for housewives. A very key concept. Pensions for housewives. That if you are somebody who has lost a partner, if you've been raising children and so on, and you're in economic insecurity, the state must come in and recognize the fact that you've contributed. You've been a vital contributor to society. and you should receive a pension for this. This is a very interesting position taken by the Left Democratic Front as it enters into this election in Kerala. I want to highlight this point because I want to show you that this demonstrates a very clear commitment to people. The LDF has suggested that it is rooted in communities, it's rooted in people, it lifts up the voices of people who are struggling to build a better life, including unrecognized care workers in homes, housewives, what is known in this manifesto as housewives, but generally unrecognized care workers. We've seen this in the way the health ministry has recognized the work of the health workers, public health workers, and so on. It's a big fight to build a humane world. It's a big fight. You know, Akbar Allahabadi's line is meaningful today. Aadmi tha, badi mushkil se insaan hua. We were people, born people. With great difficulty, we became human. It is a big fight, a big struggle against all the hideous, wretched things we inherit from the past. You know, patriarchal ideas, caste ideas, ideas of hierarchy of one form or the other. Wretched things are inherited. We struggle to overcome them. There's no easy magic bullet to jump over the inequalities, inequities in our society. No magic bullet. You have to go through struggle. The instrument of the Left Democratic Front in Kerala has been one front of the struggle, an important front. I interviewed T.M. Thomas Isaac, the finance minister of Kerala, who's not running for election this time. And Isaac said that if the LDF is able to break this pattern of one term LDF, one term UDF, this pattern since 1980, if the LDF breaks this pattern, it'll give the left at least 10 years, if not more, of an opportunity to shift the balance of forces in Kerala, to produce a foundation to build a humane society, build a humane state structure. It's the 150th anniversary of the Paris Commune. We're celebrating the Commune on the 28th of May with all the publishers releasing a text, includes Marx's lecture, Lenin's commentary on Marx's lecture on the Paris Commune, some ephemeral materials and so on. I hope you'll have a look at it. Friends in Chinta Publishers will be releasing this in Malayalam, as will 28 to 30 other publishers around the world in many languages. So I hope you'll have a look at that on the 28th of May. This is the period of celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Paris Commune. This is also the time when the people of Kerala are campaigning in the assembly election. I hope very much that this campaign will raise the important issues that the LDF has put on the table, including the issues of social reproduction, reproductive care work, and so on. I also hope that on the table will be discussions about infrastructure, serious issues. India today, unfortunately, is held in a communal mindset where the BJP has driven a hideous politics of communal division. We don't need that. What we need is for people to come together, collectively, collaboratively, solve the practical problems that stand before us. Problems of the pandemic, problems of poverty, problems of caste, problems of patriarchy, problems of social hierarchy. We need to solve these things together. We need to come together to solve them. I hope both in the campaign and in the government that comes, the next Left Democratic Front government that comes, solutions will come out of struggle. Solutions will come out of debates. We need those solutions. Without those solutions, we can't tolerate the world as it is. Thanks a lot.